One of the very exciting things that we have on the Tackroom is our KD horse script, which allows us to do breeding. So this is where we can breed our horses. You can have foals. There is a randomization on how the foals come out. We will get into that, and we're going to walk through step by step on how to do breeding, kind of some tips on them, some rules, and just general information on the breeding script itself. So stay tuned. We'll go through everything. If you have any questions, put it down in the comments, and let's get started. On the tack room, we have two horse scripts. Our first one is KD horse scripts. That's the one we're going to focus on today. This one, if you are at the horse park, you would go and find the NPC to go talk to him. On the map, you will see that this guy is located anywhere that there is the black background to a white horseshoe. These are KD stables. Not all stables have the breeding enabled. Mainly any of the major towns, horse park, those sort of places do have the breeding. However, individual owned properties do not have breeding on them. So what you'll do is you, at this point, should already have a mare or a female and a stallion or a male horse that are KD horses. And you need at least those two to do breeding. And so when you come into this, you go and talk to the NPC, you press and hold enter, and then you're going to click on breeding. And then you're going to do new breeding. And now you have to select the male and the female. So again, make sure you have a male horse and a female horse to do this. So you're going to go ahead and hit male horse. I'm going to do my Criollo. So I'm going to pick from my Criollo Stallion 1 and your female. And I'm going to create my, let's do my Criollo Mare 1. And then you're going to do make them breed. Now, as of May 2025, we do not have the ability to name the foals after they're born. This may change in the future. It's something we've recommended to the developer. So my best advice is if you have a brand for your stable, so instance mine is SASS, I'm going to go ahead and add that brand. And then I usually try to do names that would fit for a filly or a female or a colt, a male. So you can choose really kind of maybe an in-between name. There is a way you can have your horse's names changed. However, I do always recommend going ahead and adding your brand to it. So we're just going to do, let's do Gonna Catch Me for a name. Very generalized. And being I'm on dev right now, the breeding timer is sped up so this video can be recorded very quickly. So we're going to go ahead and click this and it's going to quote unquote start the breeding process. Now, when you go into your horse manager on main server, you're going to go and manage horses. And when you go look at that mare over on where it says race Criollo, above that is going to say gestation timer. Now, currently, we do have the gestation timer at 5 IRL days. So that means it will take 5 days for that horse to foal out or have its baby. Now, mares, then you have to wait every 5 days to breed them. Stallions, on the other hand, you can continue to breed them. There is no cooldown for stallions, only on mares, as well as the breeding or the gestation period for mares. And one thing we are very transparent on currently is an exploit with breeding with this script. The dev is aware of it. We have very strict rules, being we have talked about it time and time again in the tack room on when you trade horses or sell horses that are pregnant, it will immediately pop the foals out. Now, for our server, this will immediately lead to a ban. And unfortunately, that's how it happens, and it's an exploit in the system. And so we have asked time and time again for players not to do this. It floods our database of horses. And it's just one of those things that it's kind of not fair and it's an exploit of the system. That's not how the system is supposed to work. You are supposed to wait your 5 days. And so that is just something for the tacker. This might be different in other servers. However, we do talk a lot about this exploit and making people aware that this is a problem in the breeding script. The dev is aware. We are aware. There's nothing we can do about it right now. And that is also why there's that 5-day wait period. Prior, we had a 3-day gestation and a 2-day cooldown, and people were still bypassing it. So when you get into breeding your horses, we highly, highly, highly recommend that you just transfer stallions or someone transfers a stallion to you, do the breeding and transfer the stallion back, because we're never going to worry about that potential exploit. So if you have a stallion, I would recommend maybe making up a document in Canva just for your own records, just being like, hey, this is my horse. I'm going to transfer it to this person. It kind of plays into the role play a little bit, But I would just say have some sort of breeding contract, quote unquote. That's not a legal entity, but just an agreement between you and another player that that stallion you were trading to them, they're going to breed one horse and they will immediately trade it right back. This helps avoid the process or the accidental exploiting horses. So once your 5 days is up, then you will have a brand new foal in your barn. So you would go back into the KD stable, click on Horse Manager, Manage Horses, and then this is the foal. So my screen looks a little weird, but that is the downside is within the foal and the foal genetics, it more than likely will become the mare's coat and the mare's breed. So the female's coat and female's breed. And then the colors are completely random. There is some people that say there might be a little bit of a randomize between the selection of coats and such. However, there is nothing determined in the script that we know about of certain colors being put on certain coats. So there is not where you could breed a bay horse and a palomino and you're going to get a genetically correct foal. That's not a thing that happens with this script. The other thing we get asked a lot is, could I breed a Appaloosa with a thoroughbred and get an Appaloosa coat on a thoroughbred? And that's not possible either. The coats that you get with the horse that's born are coats based on that core breed. So for instance, like this Criollo is probably only going to get a bay frame coat or the Overo coat because that comes from the parents. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're breeding. It is honestly completely random. And there is times you are going to get foals that are not really desirable. There is a lot of players within the server that do like the little Franken horses, as we like to call them. Like this one has, we call them split necks. So the color on the neck and the body look different. That too might just be my graphics right now. But there is a little bit of a difference between coloring. The orange nose for myself is not something I desire. So this would probably be a horse I would just void. And voiding a horse means it just goes into the abyss. It's deleted from the database. It's never recoverable. There's people that will try to sell some of these horses at auctions, and you might get lucky and get a really nice looking foal. I was doing some test breeding earlier, and I actually ended up getting this that's a stallion. That's the mare, so these are the parents. And then I ended up getting this really nice foal out of it. So it's definitely a unique looking horse, but it is one of those very randomization things that you can have with breeding. There is no cost associated with breeding as of right now. It is something we've asked the dev to incorporate in a future update. However, there is no cost to it. The biggest thing, again, to remember with this is just do not trade or sell or void any pregnant mares. Wait until they have foaled out, and then you can go and trade and sell or void them, whatever you wish to do. The easiest way is just to trade stallions and kind of process the breeding that way. So if you have any questions about the breeding script itself, or our KDs, or even the Tackroom, leave a comment below and I will answer them. If you're interested in playing on a RedM server that has horse breeding like this, just go to Google and type in the Tackroom RedM and we'll show up. We have quite a few things about breeding the KD horses. We have a lot of information on that website. But thanks for watching and we'll see you till next time.